Okay, so there's this phantom audience lurking on Twitch, and believe it or not, it's part of a multi-million-dollar problem that's really shaking up the world of online streaming. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out exactly what is going on.
So, have you seen this happen? You're watching one of your favorite streamers, everything seems normal, and then suddenly their viewer count just takes a nosedive. Did thousands of people just, decide to go outside all at once? Or is there something else happening behind the scenes?
Well, it turns out the real reason is a quiet but massive platform-wide crackdown on something called viewbotting. Twitch rolled out some new code to hunt down all this fake engagement, and, well, the results were pretty immediate and, frankly, pretty dramatic.
And when you break it down, viewbotting is a really simple idea. It's all about faking popularity. The source material I was looking at had this absolutely perfect analogy for it. Imagine a concert hall that looks completely packed, but it's just filled with mannequins, right? There's no applause, no real energy, no real audience. That is exactly what bots are doing to a stream.
And the scale of this is just, wow. When Twitch flipped that switch, site-wide viewership reportedly dropped anywhere from 5% on the low end to a staggering 22% on the high end. I mean, let that sink in for a second. Up to a fifth of the entire audience just, poof, vanished overnight. So you might be thinking, okay, a few streamers lose some fake viewers. What's the big deal? Well, it becomes a very, very big deal when you start to follow the money. And that brings us to the high cost of these fakes and exactly why advertisers are getting so worried.
So how much money are we actually talking about here? This isn't just a small rounding error in a marketing budget. According to industry estimates, we are talking about millions of dollars in ad spend that was just completely wasted, poured down the drain trying to reach an audience that was never even there to begin with.
To really put those wasted millions into perspective, think about it like this. Imagine a brand pays for a huge Super Bowl ad, right? They're expecting to reach a packed stadium full of people. But then the ad runs, and they find out half the seats are just cardboard cutouts. The money's gone, but the message hit a wall of, well, nothing. And here's the crucial thing to get. The damage goes way beyond just that wasted cash. It creates a whole chain reaction. First, yeah, the ads are shown to bots that can't buy anything. But then, because of that fake data, all of your performance metrics get totally skewed and become useless. And that can lead to brands accidentally placing their ads on some shady streams, creating brand safety risks. And the final domino to fall? Trust. Advertisers get nervous and start to pull back, which hurts the real, legitimate creators who actually depend on that income. Now you're probably thinking, can't Twitch just fix this? Well, it's not that simple. What's really happening here is this constant back-and-forth battle. It's basically an endless arms race between the platform and the people making the bots. It really is a constant game of cat and mouse. So on one side, you have Twitch, and they're rolling out this sophisticated new detection code. But on the other side, the people who are creating these bots, they're just as sophisticated. They are constantly evolving their services, finding new loopholes, and figuring out ways to get around every single defense Twitch puts in front of them.
And this is where it gets really tricky. Twitch can argue all day that advertisers aren't actually being billed for these fake views, but in the court of public opinion, that almost doesn't matter. The real damage is to trust. When big brands see these major headlines about rampant fake engagement, their confidence in the entire platform just starts to evaporate.
So, with a problem this complex, what can advertisers actually do to protect themselves? Well, thankfully, the situation isn't totally hopeless. There are definitely smarter ways to advertise in this kind of environment.
Okay, so here's the playbook for advertising smarter. First, you have to stop obsessing over those big vanity metrics like raw viewer counts. We now know they can be easily faked. Instead, bring in independent, third-party verification tools to get a real sense of what's going on. It's also smart to diversify your spending so you're not overexposed on any one platform. And maybe most importantly, you gotta ask the tough questions. Demand transparency on audience quality.
Now, while this whole situation on Twitch has really brought the issue into the spotlight, it is so important to understand that this is not just a Twitch problem. We really need to zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here.
This isn't a Twitch problem, it's an internet problem. Fake traffic is a plague across all of digital advertising. I mean, think about it. Platforms like YouTube are fighting this exact same battle. TikTok, get this, removed over 250 million bot accounts in a single year. This stuff is absolutely everywhere.
And you know, this quote from the source material really just boils everything down to the one thing that truly matters. It perfectly captures what every advertiser, creator, and even viewer needs to remember. The goal isn't just to get the biggest number. The goal is to connect with real humans who might actually care about what you have to say.
So the next time you see a massive viewer count on a stream or a post that's gone viral, it's worth taking a second to ask yourself this question. In a digital world that's increasingly filled with these phantoms and bots, who are you really reaching? It's something we should probably all be thinking about.